I got invited into the Pearl River Rotary Club in 1971 by Bob Jablonski. Personally, I was very proud to be invited to be a Rotary member. What it's meant to me is to broaden my friendships around Pearl River and to meet new people in the Rotary Club that were very much like family people. And lots of times I refer to it as my Rotary family, and I think that really hit the button for me.
Ed Reynolds was the kind of guy that made you feel welcome from the minute you met him. He was your friend right away.
He's been one of the people that you could always count on to attend events, to be there. He was always an active member, so he wasn't one that kind of stayed in the sidelines. If there was an activity, an event, Ed was always there. If we had a fundraiser, Ed was there. If we had a social event, you could count on Ed being there.
And one of the things that struck me was the fact that although he was a past president, he was always active in everything that went on in the club back then, and he continues to do that now.
Ed's a great guy. He always is there as a Rotarian, just like most of the others, but he never faded away after he was president, which I think makes our club really exclusive.
Whenever Eddie was there was good fellowship and good fun. And I think it was a privilege for a lot of Rotarians to have Eddie in the club with us.
He's been a friend to all the Rotarians, and including me when I was first inducted into the club. There was only a couple of women there, and everybody was very friendly, especially him. He was very welcoming.
Oh, Ed Reynolds, I met him when I first joined the Rotary in 1975. Absolutely great guy.
I'm not a social person. I get along better with machinery than I do with people, but there are some people that you can just get along with no matter what. And that's how I feel about it.
When I heard that he was going to be president, but I said to myself, my goodness, a professional guy like a dentist who puts in so many long hours, how is he going to handle all the things that Rotary wants him to do? And by gosh, he did.
I'm in the club 45 years this month, so that's when I first met Ed. He's enjoyed a reputation in the Pearl River community for decades as a family man, deeply religious, raised a family here in town and served hundreds of people and families as a dentist. And he's a good guy to know as long as he doesn't have the drill in his hand.
Me personally, he always made me feel like I was 10 feet tall, because he's probably the only guy I am taller than in the club.
He was everywhere. If there wasn't an event going on, whether it was the Little League, whether it was at his church, Ed was everywhere, all on top of having a very thriving dental practice. It was just amazing to see someone with that large a family still having all that energy and all of that ability to reach out to the community.
Being a dentist, opening up my office, I asked around, who do you go to, who's the person to talk to? And the name that always come up was Eddie Reynolds. So when I, after being here, solidified my stance for a couple of months, I came into Pearl River to meet Ed, and he could not have been nicer. He welcomed me as a new dentist in the community. He told me about the community. He told me what to expect in the community. And all his patients, they just loved him. And I said, I just hope that I can gain the confidence that you have. And he was just to me, a mentor in this community.
His love of the club came out right away to me. And he made a real impression on me to when I needed to make my committees, and I needed an advisory committee. It was Gus Pappas, Ed Reynolds, Ed Grant, and Ronnie Beckley, all guys that were huge in the club. The respect that I had for them, they're in a league by themselves, and Eddie Reynolds is right up there with them.
He never backed away from being involved in it, no matter what the project is. And even though he's been out of the presidency for a long time, it's like he's a new member, the way he acts and the way he feels about the club.
I was very fortunate. My sponsor was Ed Reynolds and Ron Beckerly, and it couldn't have been any better. They both shared and were welcoming and made the transition to join Rotary so easy. He was the kind of individual that you would say, I'd like to be associated with Ed Reynolds.
I enjoyed Rotary from the get-go, and I felt very comfortable coming in, but I still was in awe of these older gentlemen who had done so much locally in Pearl River, and you knew their names, and now here you are, you're meeting them, and you're calling them by their first names, and that I thought was like amazing.
You know, it's hard to say what he's meant specifically, but people look to him, people talk to him. If you ask Eddie for something, as I did as a dentist and as a Rotarian, he'll give me the answers. He'll help me. He'll teach me. When I did my medical mission to Ethiopia, I said, do you happen to have any extra instruments that I can take with me? Gave me a pile like this of the instruments that we could use in Ethiopia. And I said, do you want them back? He said, no, donate them to the Rotoplast.
I think he's, in a lot of ways, a personification of the kind of human being that the Pearl River Rotary has attracted over the decades. I think that's kind of one of the club's hallmarks, that it's replicated itself with people of good character who are committed to this community and share a common value that they want to make it better.
Ed, my friend, it's a beautiful thing you're doing, and I hope you have another 50 years in the club.
Ed, you've been great in our club. You're part of the spirit of our club. We love you, and we need you for another 50 years.
First of all, I'd like to wish Ed Reynolds a very, very happy 50th anniversary of being a Rotarian. I'm sure you've seen a lot of good things happen in those 50 years, Ed, and I can only wish you many, many more.
Eddie, I'm proud of you. Eddie, I'm honored to know you. Eddie, you have been a blessing to me, both personally and professionally.
I'm not just remembering all the good times we had, but we did some work too. And the Soapbox Derby and Share Christmas and the holidays are two of my big memories of things that we enjoyed doing. Personally, it has been the best organization that I've ever belonged to. And they did so much, and it was such a pleasure to be friends with so many of these wonderful people.